Police in the Western Australian mining town of Port Hedland are pushing for restrictions on the sale of takeaway alcohol. They say alcohol-fuelled violence threatens the safety of the town's children on a daily basis. But the push has divided the community, and the alcohol industry wants other measures like welfare restrictions looked at first. Eliza Borrello has our report.
The speed and agility of South Hedland's scooter riders is breathtaking. But as one young boy expertly finishes a jump, we hear a clatter on the ground. It's the sound of a knife falling out of his pocket. We witnessed this a few weeks ago while recording an unrelated story with local dentist and Ratepayers Association President Roger Higgins. He pointed out horrific scars on the boy's legs.
One of the other boys said that he'd been basically satellite by his brother and sister at some stage. So I think that's you're probably looking at a child there that's been subject to domestic violence, be it parents or other siblings.
The boy was evasive when we asked him why he was carrying a box cutter. Dr Higgins believes it was obvious.
I believe he carried it for protection because he's looking at protecting himself from adults who are under the influence of drugs or alcohol.
Dr Higgins says a push by the local police to impose tough restrictions on the sale of alcohol has his full support. Local Police Inspector Ricky Chadwick says it would limit the sale of spirits to 1 bottle a day per customer and ban bottle shops from selling full-strength beer.
What we see on a daily basis is a high consumption of full-strength beer. In homes, it's in public open spaces.
Inspector Chadwick says his officers recently spent 2 nights with local children who were wandering Hedland streets at night. They asked them if they felt safe at home. Half of the 70 children they spoke to said they didn't.
Here's a young generation of children at the critical time in their life, and if we're happy to allow this to continue, then there's something wrong with us as a society, I think.
Bradley Woods is the Chief Executive of the WA branch of the Australian Hotels Association. He believes other measures should be considered before tough liquor restrictions are put in place.
Port Hedland itself has a very mixed community. Yes, there is a proportion of the community who may be dependent on government support. There's a proportion of the community that are also working very successfully in the mining sector. So any strategies to intervene on alcohol abuse and misuse need to be targeted.
In particular, Mr Woods says he'd support the federal government extending its cashless debit card trial to the town. Under the trial, welfare recipients have 80% of their payment quarantined on a debit card that can't be used to buy alcohol.
We would think that this is a far more sensible approach than just bringing in blanket restrictions.
Police expect WA's Director of Liquor Licensing to rule on their application for tougher alcohol restrictions mid-year.
Eliza Borrello there.